Hi everyone, welcome back to the Reclamation Station. Thank you for joining me today for the soft launch of the station. I am calling it a soft launch because oftentimes people would recommend that you wouldn't want to start anything new during a retrograde, especially the launch of a social media station, because it's said that almost all electronics, communication, and things like that have the high potential to go awry during that season. But a couple of reasons why I am proceeding with a soft launch. One is that this idea is not new. It's not been a rush process. It's not something I thought of yesterday and launched immediately. This has been in the womb for a while and coming to fruition. And the choice to do it today on the Feast of Mary Magdalene Day is very intentional, because if she is nothing, she is persistent on nudging those souls that she guides and works with to follow their inner knowing. And so I'm honoring her today by doing this soft launch. So before I even get started in the message for the day, I wanted to use two decks that are dedicated to Mary Magdalene. One of the decks I've been using for years and years, and I've said this earlier, this is the one that I've had, and I've drawn a card from this and for others for many, many years now. And so I will use that. I know that deck by heart. And then for this Leo season and for this feast day for Mary, I have a new deck that I am loving. It's called The Reclamation of Your Feminine Magic, and this is what the cover of the booklet looks like. And you can get both of these on their websites and on Amazon, I believe, too. So those are the two decks that I'm going to use. And the message that came before the cards, the message that came through meditation today was talking about transformation and metamorphosis, and the difference between transformation and metamorphosis, especially as we move through the retrograde season into the middle of August. So those two words sound they sound different, but sometimes it's not clear how very different they are at their core. So the way that I think about it is transformation is something that occurs but still keeps its shape and form, and you would say, oh, something is really transformed about them, but you still recognize them. They're still recognizable to you. A concrete example of that is that I have transformed the inside of my mouth. What does that mean? I finished and completed the transformation of all my fillings. So I have taken out all of the mercury, and now inside my mouth is transformed, and I have no more mercury inside of my mouth in terms of fillings. It will probably be a while before I ever work it all out of my body, because I've had them in there for several years. But my mouth on the inside has transformed. But if you looked at my mouth, it's still my mouth. A transformation has taken place, but it's still my mouth. A metamorphosis is like the caterpillar to the butterfly. You cannot look at the butterfly and recognize it as a caterpillar, and certainly as the caterpillar you wouldn't know what it's going to look like as a butterfly. Unrecognizable, transformed, yes, but a step beyond that is that it's a metamorphosis, that it has completely died itself or had a death process into something brand new, a rebirth into something brand new. So transformation, recognizable; metamorphosis, a complete death of something. And not recognizable. You wouldn't be able to relate the two. So those are the two themes I'm working with during the retrograde. And I'm working with those because there are things, as I said on the very first post, that during the wood snake year, all of us, not just me, but all of us are shedding skins, maybe several skins of self, of ego, of work, of relationships, of locations where you live. I mean, there's all kinds of things that we're moving through and shedding. And so some of those will be transformative, and for some, there'll be a metamorphosis, unrecognizable and unknown if you see it in its new shape. So that's kind of what the interplay is for this reading. It's a call to think about for yourself, where are you transforming, and where is there potential for metamorphosis? Where does something need to completely die so that something else can be brand new and unrecognizable? And a little softer would be like a transformation. And so some of my friends I've noticed are growing their hair longer. And so I have two beautiful soul friends who I recognize them. I know who they are, but their image has transformed because now they're like lioness. They have these long, beautiful locks of hair. And so I think it's beautiful in its own way. It's a transformation, but I still recognize them. And then I have another great friend who is launching a brand new book and talking about ways in which she is both transforming and seeking out levels of metamorphosis. So you'll know for yourself. I would call you to write about that during the retrograde season until mid-August. Why am I spreading it out that long? Is because I don't plan to post between today, the feast day, and until after Lionsgate and until after retrograde. I plan to do just as the cosmos are calling us to do, which is to kind of retreat and reclaim and revive parts of ourselves and souls during the retrograde. So it's a Leo retrograde, so that lions like to play, they're passionate, and they're fiercely protective. So my intention for myself during this retrograde is to do some radical self-care for my inner child, because I absolutely know that there's aspects of myself that are kind of dying away, and I want to grieve with them. And it takes intention. And so the channel is very much alive in the background of my life, and I will be creating with my inner child to do the full launch in daily posts after the retrograde season is behind me, and be creating in the middle season. So what does it mean to be nurturing during the Leo season? A couple of ways I want to share, and maybe you would consider doing this. So I use this holy anointing oil, and I get this from a friend of mine who I met in a pool of water Christmas Day, I don't know, 5 years ago, 4 or 5 years, I can't remember how many years ago, but she was in a pool of water with me. We were in a Ojo Caliente, it's a springs, natural springs. And I noticed this feather on her tattoo on her arm, I believe, and it was a feather. I made a very brief comment about it, but then I noticed she was in the next pool where I was, and the next pool where I was. And so when that happens, you say to yourself, okay, Spirit, that we're orbiting each other. Maybe I should ask what she does. Maybe I should ask who she is, and so forth. So I just listen. I see the synchronicities, and we start talking. And the next thing you know, I find out that what she does is very much aligned to my soul and magical in every way. She works very closely with the mycelium network, and that's how our conversations started. So that kicked off a relationship that now is I don't even know how to describe it. She has helped me. She and the work that she does has helped me for sure, through a metamorphosis. This is probably 2 years ago that happened, but I'll always be grateful for her. And her name is Scarlett, and she's a curandera, and she creates these oils. There's many things that she creates. I'll put a link below so you can find her website. But I am going to use this oil during the retrograde season to anoint my bones and prepare my bones and my body to release what no longer serves me, and to end those things with a very, very beautiful love story. Basically, I'm going to love myself through this retrograde season and kind of bless the bones that I have. And I'm outside, obviously, and so you're going to see friends who are liking what we're saying come in. But this is an embodied practice. To anoint yourself is an embodied practice. So I'm going to be grounding and anointing myself. I talked about Mujeres, which is the women of the anointing, of the rituals, Mary Magdalene and the Magdalenes themselves, and the archetypes of the Magdalenes were all a part of the myrrh culture. And so in its own way, I will be extending myself as a part of Mary Magdalene's collective, as a woman who works with oils and water to remember parts of myself that I might have forgotten. And I'm going to do that with the help of this oil. I also am going to use this oil, which is called Infinite Love, and I've been using this serum for about 6 years or 5 years. And the woman that makes these beautiful serums, her name is Katie, and she is in Arizona, and her team, they are magical, beautiful people leading a flower revolution. It's Lotus Way. She also created this beautiful journal that I have been working with all year. And you can see that I have had to reconstruct this journal, which is very much part of the wood snake kind of culture of the year, is to shed and rebuild. So that's what I'm going to do during the retrograde season. I'm going to invite you to do the same, and then we will meet back up after Lionsgate and after the retrograde. And I kind of have used that little portal behind me as a metaphor on the video. So there's the gate in between the portal that we would be going through, and so there's still a distance between myself and the Lionsgate and that beautiful greenery on the other side. So I have a ways to go, but I'd like to do that with you and do it in our own quiet ways, and then meet back up and hear some of the ways in which maybe you've worked with oils and play and passion and protection during this Leo season and the retrograde season. And then we'll draw 2 cards now from Mary and see what she would suggest for the collective during this period. So the way that I draw cards is very simple. I just kind of flush, I think's the word. I flush these cards until one decides to fall out. I don't draw the cards. I know some people do, but I just kind of wait, and there you go. And she's funny because the card that came out is transformation. So this is the Leela, or the cosmic play of Mary. And so I don't even know what to say right now except for thank you, Mary, for being playful with us right now and showing us that during the Leo season, where transformation and metamorphosis can occur and has so much potentiality to occur if we lean into it, that we can do it in a playful way, and she's showing us that that is so by sending us this card and playing with us. So, and on the bottom is love. So this is the Leela and cosmic play of Mary. So thank you, Mary. I don't need to explain that card because it says it all right there on the card. Oh, she's so amazing. So this is a new deck, as I said, and I am becoming, ooh, this one is sexy. I don't think I can say that on YouTube. I haven't learned all the rules, but maybe I can. So I said passion. Here are the things we said: fire, play, passion, and protection. And here's what, these are not, I don't think I can show all of it. I know there are rules, I guess, on YouTube. This is called Orange Fire Rose. And let me get the gestalt of this card because the deck is new to me. But I mean, the picture is worth 1,000 words. Let me see, 30. What I love is that part of what it wants you to do, and again, she's playing with us, it says, if you see that, anointing ritual. So there is an anointing involved here. And it says, the thing it wants you to consider, this card, the Orange Fire Rose, it says, how are you being called to embody the ecstatic alchemist? How are you being called to embody the ecstatic alchemist? If you've received this card, it is of the Fire Rose lineage. You are being called back to your lineage of the Magdalenes. You are part of the Tantrikas, the Holy Whores, I don't know if I can say that either, and the Sacred Harlots, formed across all worlds and women. And I will, again, put a link in here. There's more to the card, but that's the gestalt of the card. And I think it's pretty on point for Leo season in terms of passion. And this is not about sexuality. It's not about the act itself. It's passion. So even doing this video, I'm doing it from a place of passion. When I love myself through the retrograde season, I will be doing it from a place of infinite love and passion. And so I want to say thank you to Mary for showing us these beautiful cards and giving us a lead in to think about how we may work together again, but quietly during the retrograde season. Again, we'll be going through the gate for Lionsgate, and then we'll meet up again as we pass through the portal and out of the retrograde season and into the next phase. So it is with a humble heart that I want to close out the message. Thank everyone for joining me. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. In the bottom comments, I will put the 5 names of the people that will have the oracle reading with me from now until I launch. So I will be staging them over the retrograde season. So I'll put them in the comment box, and then I'll schedule them with you, and we'll do those so that they're all complete before the big go live after the retrograde season. Again, everything will be in motion, but it will be motion in a different type of way that honors the season that we're in. Always, just so you know, I have water adjacent to me. And so anytime that you are joining the collective here with me at the reclamation station, I'm going to ask that you bring a notebook, a piece of paper to write with, or to write on, some type of pen or pencil, and water, because whatever we're talking about is, as you know, creating an impression in the water, and that impression creates a memory, And because this is the reclamation station and we have a longing to remember, the water can help us do that. For those of you who know me, I have several podcasts out about water, and we'll get into more of that when the station kicks back off at the end of August. But those are the three things that I'd like you to bring to the videos when you come to YouTube. When you come, I feel like that the message is complete. I would love for you to, again, take time right after the video to think about what is transforming, what potential is there for metamorphosis, where can you bring out the lion, the courage of the lion. Everything is ripe for that right now. It doesn't have to be aggressive or harsh, or lions are all of that, but they're also as equally powerful sitting still. They are respected, they're feared when they're roaring, but when you see them sitting still, they're respected. No one goes and messes with a lion. So there's all different aspects to the lion and the lioness during this season. But if Mary Magdalene calls us to do anything in this world, she calls us to be courageous. And so that is what she's known for. And we all have that. So I appreciate everyone joining and spending time together. Please feel free to write in the comment section what you're thinking about in terms of transformation and metamorphosis. I'd be very, very happy to be a part of that with you in the collective, because we all need each other. Again, we all came from the great, great, great grandmother, first woman. The reason why we're all one is we all came from her, the first woman, the great, 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 great grandmother. Every person alive came from her. Without her, there would have been no us. So in that way, we are all one. Ram Ram.